This is new to me because I haven't seen this before. We had a great write-up. I think JT wrote it, Mitchell, on our Facebook, on our website. I was reading some of this, but the Mississippi Department of Education has initiated a service called the Health and School Safety Platform, nSide, from the American Rescue Plan Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief through their funds. Tell me a little bit about this. How much has it been funded, and how many schools are participating? First of all, just for the people who don't know what this is, give us an idea of the concept of this and what it does.
So what nSide is about is we are a software platform that helps schools to be able to organize their emergency operations planning process. And so that's one of the things that's very critical, because our educators are not trained in emergency management planning. And so one of the things that they face is, they're being thrust into this requirement effectively and not necessarily having the background for it. So what we do is we help them with that process. So our software helps them with that process, and then our other trainers, et cetera, also help them with the process. We have retired police, retired SROs, retired educators, retired mental health professionals that do training and go out and help them with these processes.
So it's a lot more than where the cameras are going to be as far as affixing the cameras. It's how the shutdown process works, what to look for, the telltale signs, and I would guess a lot more.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so one of the key things to what this program does for all the schools, and nearly all of them are participating in. We right now we have 1,003 of the schools in the state of Mississippi participating in this program. They were given the option to opt in, opt out, and so there were a few districts that did opt out, but for the most part, we have pretty complete coverage. That's 140 districts out of 155, 52. So we have pretty good coverage.
So you're up to 140. This is 135.
Yes, sir.
For school, why would a school opt out of this? Number one, they already have somebody doing that, or it was too costly? Does it cost a school anything to do it?
No, sir, it doesn't. It is paid for with pandemic-related funds, federal dollars, but there was a kind of a short timeline on some of it, so I think some of them may not have fully understood exactly what it was. And so now we are seeing a few of the districts that did opt out coming back and saying, okay, sorry about that, let's try this again. And so that's what we hope with all of them as they see this unfold throughout the state.
Yeah, Stephen, I was reading some of the services on here, and you can speak to this. Let me read them one at a time. One surveillance camera for the district central office, and up to 5 school-based surveillance cameras with the ability to detect and notify of crowd congestion. So, I mean, it is specific to schools per your software, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is, and what the cameras allow for, they're cloud-based cameras. They're highly secure, individual AI-based cameras, and what they allow for is you to set thresholds of how many people can be in a given area, and then once it detects that number in a frame, to help with social distancing, et cetera, but also to help with contact tracing. So if you do have someone that is positive, you can identify who they were in contact with in that particular area, and hopefully kind of mitigate the potential spread.
I got it. Does it do facial recognition?
Well, it does face recognition, but not identifying. So
I got you.
The software is about understanding that this individual is unique, but not who that individual is. So
yeah, how long is that kept as far as records are concerned? Does it redo and tape over every 24 or 48 hours, or?
Actually, it's one of the neat things about the cameras we use. They have an onboard memory of to be able to hold that footage for 30 days. And so it writes over itself every 30 days, but it is also connected to the cloud, so it can be backed up if there's an event or something that needs to be captured.
So at the very least, if you have a couple of kids during the off season, during school when school's out, are they still run when school's out? as far as protecting the establishment, the facilities?
Sure. Yeah. They
somebody comes up 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, comes up 2 o'clock in the morning, decides to throw a couple of rocks. Cameras got them.
Absolutely.
Which is not a bad idea.
No.
Access to a 360-degree live virtual walkthrough of a school to provide situational awareness in emergencies. Speak to that.
Yes. That's one of the key features of the system. Our system is based off of location. So the very first thing we do is we come into the school and we map it in 3D space. So we take 360-degree photos all the way through the school of all the rooms, and we compile that together into what folks might be more familiar with is almost like a Google Street View environment, but it's a secure encrypted environment specifically for the interior of the schools. Now, what that does is if there is some type of, significant event like a tornado that takes out part of the school, even, what you have then is a record of exactly what that facility's interior looked like. And in a rescue event, that can be enormously helpful in the context of situational awareness for first responders. So
because everything is recorded on the cloud. I got it.
Yes, sir.
A system to create detailed campus maps and building floor plans with the georeference images that give you the responders' precise location of individuals. I think what you alluded to there. A portal to upload emergency operation plans.
Yes, sir. And that's kind of what we, focus the most on. So again, going back to the concept of, educators and administrators, especially over this last couple of years, they've had an incredibly difficult job. You just can't say enough about what they've done. And I know Mississippi has recently had a huge pay increase for them, and that's well warranted. They face a lot of tough challenges, and one of those is they are required now to have school safety plans, right? And they're supposed to go through this process that's relatively intensive and understand how to do emergency operations planning. Well, what we do is we help them coordinate with local law enforcement and others in their first responder community, and then take them through this process to build out those plans and get everyone comfortable understanding what they need to do in an emergency situation.
Stephen, how many people on your team? In other words, do you do this one school at a time? You don't have several teams out there. It's one school at a time. First of all, the question is, where are we in this process right now? Have you done several schools, or where are you?
Yeah, we really just started. So April was the first month of activity here. So we've completed a district, and we are moving basically from district to district. We do have several teams actually that are working concurrently. So we will have several districts going at the same time. But the total project time is only 30 months. That's a very compressed schedule to actually do 1,000 schools. So we really got to push and get that out there, and that's part of why I really appreciate you letting us talk about this, is because that's part of what we are attempting to do.
I want to talk more about it. Have you done the math? How many you've got to take do in a week?
Yes, sir.
And I guess. And I guess some schools are going to take a lot longer because they are, of course, as you well know, in a rural school compared to a DeSoto County school. Going to be a lot of difference. We'll continue the conversation. And another question I'll have for Stephen, is there a possibility that window may open again for the schools that did not do that? We'll talk about that in the timeline. Final segment here with Stephen McKinney, who is founder and CEO of nSide. It's called little letter N and then capital S-I-D-E, nSide, the school safety platform. We'll talk more with Stephen coming up next. You're right. Final segment with Stephen McKinney. And Stephen, you were talking about the process that this goes through, and the question was, and as a matter of fact, I think we've already had a couple of people ask, will it open up again as far as qualifications concerned?
So one portion of it won't. That's with the cameras themselves. But the platform and the mobile app, which is a crucial component of this, the mobile app for lockdown, that'll be in every teacher's hand now. That portion is still open. They can come on board at any time with that.
Now, every school district that you go to, I'm sure you're working with the police departments or the sheriff's departments for the most part. Are they coming in and doing an assessment also to say, okay, you need to change the locks here, this it doesn't need to be an entrance? How does that work?
So part of the platform, our platform, actually has the required site assessments, the physical security site assessments that are put forth by the Department of Homeland Security for the schools to walk through themselves and guide them through these processes that helps them make those recommendations. But we do encourage, especially if they have an SRO, a school resource officer on staff, that's a key opportunity to work with those folks, or even reaching out to your local sheriff's department, local police department. Engaging with them is critical to the process. And so we really,
but that's not mandatory in this one. It's not mandatory in this one.
No,
okay.
No, it is not.
And if there are changes needed, physical changes as far as door locks and things like that, that's not part of the financial agreement on this.
No, sir. No.
Locks and things such as that. Okay. So what else do you want the people to know out there as far as the schools are concerned?
Well, the big thing is again, coming back to the mobile app. The mobile app is a 4 little button app that is going to be on every teacher's phone. And effectively, its purpose is very simple. If there's an emergency event, they can hit the lockdown button and hold that for a few seconds, and it sends a notification to everyone in a predetermined list, all the administrators, and gives them the opportunity to connect to 911. The information that's sent from that is also giving the location of that individual. So that way, if there is, a medical event or a police or fire event, they know exactly where they are. And so this is a huge piece, and this is a big deal for the state of Mississippi.
Yeah.
Providing that to every educator is a massive ordeal, rolling it out, but the potential benefits are enormous.
I would imagine also there is, once it gets to the superintendent's level or something, is there some connectivity from the parents on that app to get the information from there, or they just use their regular sources?
Right now, the way that portion of it works is they continue to use their existing mass notification systems.
I got you.
So this can tie to that. But they have kind of 2 tiers of systems to make sure the information is going out to the parents as well.
Listen, I appreciate it. Any final thoughts here on this that you want the parents to know?
One of the biggest things I think is, there was a recent survey that said about 74% of parents think schools are less safe right now than it was when we were in school. And the thing that I would encourage people to know about the state of Mississippi is this is a huge step forward in helping the kids, helping the parents, and helping the teachers feel better about where they're at and have those processes and procedures to make them more confident. The thing that you have to do to create a better learning environment, number one, is make people feel safe. They can't learn if they can't feel safe. And so I just want to commend the folks at MDE for this. They've worked really hard to help us get to this point. Brian McGarity with the Safe and Orderly Schools office has done an incredible job. And Dr. Wright, of course, has been hugely supportive. And we're looking forward to getting this out to all of the schools in the state of Mississippi.
Do you think you're going to be able to meet that deadline, 30 months?
We're on track right now, so we're going to hit it really hard. We got to get after it, though.
Now we both were kids in school, and stupid is at a higher level now than it was then, because we would always bring our guns, put them on the gun rack in the back of the truck because we were going to go hunting. We hear those stories, and it's true. But stupid not only happens in the classroom, stupid happens on the baseball field or soccer field or something like. Are those areas covered also as far as cameras are concerned?
Not for the cameras themselves. Now, they can be expanded to that as part of this contract, that is one of the things that it does open up to the schools. Is part of the state contract, they can buy additional units and expand those. And so they've got a really good negotiated price on all of that, and that's available for them to add additional ones if they choose.
So they can cover it on the same software,
Yes,
you've provided. They can add additional cameras to the sports and the athletics.
Absolutely,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen, if they want more information, where do people go to get more information?
So the best source to get all of the information right now is our website, nSide.io. That's NSIDE.io/Mississippi.
Man, thank you so very, very much. We look forward to it. Maybe a little bit. Uh-oh. I have no idea what that's all about. Let me cut that out real quick. I'm calling somebody, don't even know it. We appreciate it, sir. Appreciate it very, very much. We had some people texting us in that they couldn't hear your part of the conversation, and I hope we got that fixed. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate it, sir. It is.